Hey. Hey y'all, it's Ayanna. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials at _ringbells on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Y'all, as promised, this is a story time about Jordan and Delila. I don't really know what I'm going to title this yet, but if you haven't already, go back and watch His Baby Mom Came to Me as a Woman. It's literally the first video that I ever posted on my channel. You do have to watch that one if you want to understand the dynamic before we jump into today's story. So click off of this, go back to that one, and then come back. But without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, y'all, so you already know, gotta give y'all the background, gotta set the scene. But we're gonna give the background to the background because I gotta give y'all like a little mini story time before the story time for today. So y'all remember, obviously, when I first posted that video, I didn't have a lot of subscribers. I didn't have a lot of like how you guys interact with me now and how we're growing. It was not obviously like that when I posted my first video. Y'all, literally not even 12 hours of me posting that video, while Delila find it, watched the whole thing, commented on it, then sent it to Jordan. He sat there, he watched the entire thing, and then he hit my phone. Yeah, y'all, like, I'm going to put the comment somewhere here. Delila, I think that's what really got her. She did not like the fact that I named her Delulu because, or she don't like the fact that I named her Delila because she was Delulu. So she makes this comment, and as you can see in the comment, she's like, yeah, why don't you mention the part about how it got so much worse for you when you came back? I'm going to let y'all be the judges of who it actually got worse for when I get into the whole story. So she felt some type of way, I guess, and she said, everybody has a story to tell. I guess you're doing this for entertainment purposes, whatever the case is. Well, clearly I entertained you because you sat there and watched the whole thing. Shout out to y'all. You know, thank y'all for upping my views. You know, back in the beginning, I needed those. So, yeah, y'all, if you go back and try to find the comment, it's not there anymore because I just wasn't trying to attract that, you know, attention. I kind of blocked her, got her off my page. She hasn't really commented on anything ever since. I don't know if she's been watching any of my videos ever since. More than likely, she'll probably tune into this one, but it is what it is. So, y'all, she does all of that, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, mind you, at this point, y'all, I have not... My bad, y'all. I be hearing stuff. Like, and it's the middle of the day. I know y'all probably like, girl, but I be trying to be listening. I'm actually washing clothes, so I might be the dryer, but my bad. So, yeah, y'all, at this point, I have not seen, heard, or spoken to her or Jordan in years. He's 2 whole boyfriends ago. Years ago, right? This girl has been stalking me for all of those years, from me ending dealing with him to present day when I posted that video, because she watched it, viewed it, commented on it, all within under 12 hours of me posting it. So that means you saw me post it on my Instagram, you went to YouTube, found the video, and sat there and watched the whole thing. That's insane to me. Y'all don't think that's crazy? Y'all really don't think that's crazy? So after that, I'm like, okay, I let it go. I told my boyfriend, I told my mom, told my friends. Everybody was like, oh, she's really crazy. She's really stalking you. Like, be careful because something's wrong with her. And is. So a few hours goes by. Guess who hits me up? Jordan. So Jordan hits me up like, oh, Ayanna, can we talk? Can we talk? No. We're not friends. We're not cool. We are not on bad terms, baby. We are done. So I'm like, no. I'm like, your baby mom is delusional, and you would not know anything that I have going on YouTube or anywhere else for that matter if your baby mom was not stalking me. And instead of you being a man and telling your baby mom, Delila, why are you bothering her? Leave her alone. Like, why are you doing all of this? Why are you still stalking this girl after all of this time? What's wrong with you? Instead of that being your response was to be a itch. Can't say the word. And go and sit there and watch the whole thing. I hope you sent it to your cousins, your friends, your mother, because I needed all those watch hours. So thank you. But yeah, y'all, he tried to press me, confront me about whatever, talking about, oh, you were lying. You know, I didn't do this. You know how you tell somebody, you type out a whole paragraph, y'all, and then they respond back and be like, I didn't go to the store at that time. That was what Jordan was giving. The whole video, he was picking out little small bits and pieces of things to say. And I'm like, sir, he was like, I guess everybody, you know, you just doing it for entertainment. You were supposed to start YouTube a long time ago. You got mad story times you could tell. You could have, well, he said you didn't tell all the stuff that you did. And remember I told y'all when I went to LA with Larry and Meg and his friends, that was one of the things that I did. I never had a problem telling my side of the story, but it was my first video. You're just mad that the first video was about you. Oh, you could have did this, you could have did that. I could have did what I could have done has nothing to do with you, because you would not know if you weren't on my channel, if your baby mom wasn't on my Instagram stalking me for the past couple of years. You get what I'm saying? Like, we were missing the point. You get what I'm saying? He was missing the point altogether. So he calls himself checking me. So I checked him right back, and I explained to him, you know, it's my life, it's my page, and if you have a problem with it, block me. You don't have to know my content. You don't have to watch it. He was like, you know, how you think I'm supposed to feel when this comes across my eyes? Because your baby mom sent it to you. Why are we not putting two and two together here, sir? So I guess he really didn't like my reaction, because, y'all, I was laughing at him. And I am going to put the voice message, a portion of his voice message in here, because it's just like, are you serious?
It has nothing to do with me. My whole thing is, it shouldn't be brought to my attention. Whether she brought it to my attention or not, you literally just posted the shit. For what? Like, and I'm not even going to say for what, because I already knew eventually one day when you did do a story time, you was going to do whatever.
So yeah, y'all, as you can tell, you listen to all of that, and I pretty much just told him, don't ever text my phone again. I don't want no parts to you or your baby mom, because y'all both weirdos, and y'all literally, remember I told y'all they are literally made for each other, because y'all one in the same. But that was that, y'all. I thought y'all would enjoy that little mini snippet, but let's get into the real story. All right, so remember I said after she came to me and I found out, he hit me up talking about, where's my keys after I left his house that night. Y'all, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last story time. I guess I should have went back and watched my own story time. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but around like a week or so before his birthday, I was still talking to Larry, you know, not really talking to him, but he had just randomly hit me up, and he was just like, oh, just to let you know, I am going back to LA again. If you want to come, this time it's just me. You know, I want you to come if if you're down. So I was just like, I don't know. Because remember I told y'all, I think I did say it. But I was like, you know, I'm going to try to work on things with Jordan and try to, you know, make it work with him and see what's what and blah, blah, blah. Give him the benefit of the doubt. It's his birthday. So, y'all, after I got home, I sent all those gifts back. I hit Larry up immediately, and I was like, oh, is that offer still on the table for me to go to LA with you? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, okay. He was like, I'm going from this day to this day. I was like, I'm down. Y'all, he sent me the bread for my flight. I booked my flight, and he was like, he was going to get there the day before. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll come the day after, and I'll pick you up. He was like, I'll pick you up from the airport. So I was like, okay, bet. I was, you know, I know some of y'all probably like, girl, after everything he did in LA with Meg and how he treated you at the hospital, I know y'all, I told y'all I was crazy. I don't know what y'all want me to do. So I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I want you to fly out here. So I'm like, okay. So during this time, obviously, Jordan is steady hitting me up, steady trying to apologize, steady trying to explain himself, was not trying to hear it, didn't care. At this point, you wanted to do you, I'm going to do me. You wanted to get I don't even know if it was a lick back or whatever it was. You were just doing you. So I'm going to get my lick back. Are you crazy? So I dipped, and a week later I was in LA with Larry. Now, y'all, that's not an eventful story time. We actually had a great time. Like he said, it was way better without our friends, without the pressure of trying to, you know, be a spoken person, I guess, for your friends and listening to what our friends were saying. Like, we just had our focus on each other, and we had a whole lot of fun. So during that time, obviously, Jordan was hitting me up like, oh, can we talk? Oh, that I was like, I'm in LA. He was like, you're in LA? I was like, yeah, I needed a break. I needed to clear my head. And he was just like, okay, like, can we talk when you get back? Ignore. I don't know. You know, I'm enjoying myself right now. So fast forward, you know, like I said, the trip with Larry was good. I get back home, and as soon as I got back home, I don't want to say Larry was acting different, y'all, but like, he's too nonchalant. Like, I like my nigga chalant. I don't like that evasive, elusive, mysterious vibe. I need you to tell me that you want to marry me yesterday. That's really how I am. That's how my boyfriend is now. I don't like all of that. But at the time, I was like, you know, it is what it is. We vibing. And like I said, I don't know. It was something about Larry that I was just attracted to. You know, we like those nonchalant, fake caring types. Not anymore. But back then, like I said, I did. So he was just not applying as much pressure as I wanted him to. You know, like, I don't know. So during that time, obviously, Jordan was still hitting me up, still begging, still, oh, I'm sorry, can we talk? I didn't talk to him or see him for like a month. I think like a month and a half or so went by, right? Then he finally was just like, okay, like, come on, like, can we just get together? Like, I want to just come out there. I'll take you out to eat. Like, we could do dinner. We could just talk, you know, see, you know, what's what. See if there's any chance that we can, like, you know, try to really work on things. So y'all, I was weak in the knees, and I was like, sure, right? So I let him come out here. I was going to let him come out here, but leading up to when he was coming out here, say for example, I think he was coming out here, I think it was like a Friday night or a Saturday night. I'm not really sure which one. Friday night or a Saturday night. He tells me like earlier in that week, right, that he told Delila, like, listen, you're my baby mom. I have to deal with you, but I don't want that with you anymore. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to sleep with you. I'm not trying to be alone with you if it's not pertaining to our son. Like, I'm cool. Me and Ayanna are going to work on things, and that's where I want things to be. Show me the messages, everything. I was like, okay, cool. I left it alone. At the same time though, y'all, I don't want y'all to think like, girl, I hope you wasn't trusting him. Not even a little bit. Not a little bit, because obviously at this point now, you have to work your way back. I don't believe anything you say. Nothing at all. You have to prove yourself. So he says all of that to me, right? So the day of that he's supposed to be coming out here, like I said, he's maybe like 40 minutes away or so. He comes out here, y'all. As he's on his way, I get an Instagram message. Of course, y'all know who the Instagram message was from. I'm going to put it on the screen because y'all know I love my receipts. But it's somewhere here. So as you can see/tell, Delila hits me up to say, oh, hey, girl, you know, it's me. Give me a call. You know, Jordan said this, but, you know, he be lying. So, girl, we not friends. We not sister wives. This is not that. He was my nigga, and I wanted him back. Now, of course, y'all, I'm not delusional enough to ever try to compete with a baby mom. But at the same time, I was entertaining Jordan. And I don't want to make it seem like, oh, girl, you was just using him. Da-da. Not like that, because he ain't have nothing for me to use him for. And I'm going to be completely honest. But, you know, that was my boo. We was dealing with each other for a little while. Y'all know how it was. You know, sometimes you go back to a person that maybe you probably shouldn't. But I was doing it anyway. So I wasn't crazy enough to think that I would really be able to compete with her. And I'm not the type to like, oh, at least he's coming home back to me at the end of the day like she was. I wasn't like that. I was not checking that man's phone. I was not questioning him about anything. I didn't care anymore. You do you. That's fine. And that's the case. And then side note, y'all. After he was steady begging to get me back, before we even had agreed for him to come out here to take me out, I had told him, verbatim, y'all, I told Jordan, I said, listen, are you sure you want me back? And he was like, yeah, why? I said, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. Y'all, I tell everybody this. You play me, this is the first thing I say. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I said, I'm going to get my lick back. And if you take me back, I'm going to violate you. He called my bluff. He was like, oh, girl, you just saying that. You just saying that because you hurt. Da, 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 da. Okay. Can't say I didn't warn you. So that was that, right? So she hits me up. She says all of this. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to say nothing to Jordan, y'all, right? Until he gets out here. So he gets out here. We get in the car. And y'all know how it's like. It's like, oh, hey, you know, you ain't see them in a little while. So you're like, oh, hey, you know, da, da, da. So we start vibing. We talking. We catching up. I show him the message from... about to say that girl name, show him the message from Delila. And he's like, what is she hitting you up for? Did you respond to her? Did you call her? I'm like, no. I was like, I don't plan on it. I was like, I'm going to just ignore her because, again, we're not sister wives. Yeah, we had our little conversation, you know, the month before when you came to me or whatever. But we're not cool. We're not bonding over your baby dad. Like, we're not doing any of that. If you want to call me dumb for going back, then I went back. You've been dumb though. So if you want to call me dumb for going back, then it is what it is. Like, I don't really care, but I'm not going to be conversing with you like we friends. If he gets caught up again, then that's on him. But I don't need to get any more information from you. And y'all, she did not like that. Y'all, she did not like the fact that I ignore her. She hated me ever since then, right? So, you know, we in the car, whatever. We get to the restaurant and Jordan is like, I don't even know why she's hitting you up. He was like, literally for the past couple of months, she was saying how stupid you were, how much of a little girl you were, how ugly you were, how like just insulting me from end to end, like, y'all. But she didn't have that energy when we was in person. Everything was, oh, you're so pretty, oh, you're so this, oh, you're so that, and da-da-da-da. And like I told y'all in that story time, yeah, girl, I don't care about nothing you saying. I'm just here for the information. I don't need the compliments. I don't need nothing from you. So you just thought that I was dumb because I was younger than y'all, but I was never dumb, baby. This is chess, not checkers. You feel me? So she was like, he's telling me all of this, and I was just like, oh, okay, like, I don't really care. He was like, yeah, she's weird. He was like, just ignore her. She just likes drama, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. Y'all, Delila's page used to be private, but she made it public, I guess, because she wanted me to go to her page and see it. Because I knew my page was always public. I never was running from nothing. So she made her page public. And I'll be honest, y'all know how girls be. She looking at my stories, I'm looking at hers. But the thing is, I would never sub her crazy. I would just post videos and stuff on my story with Jordan, because that's enough to eat you up, girl. So you saying certain stuff like, oh, he never gonna be done with me. Oh, girls think this, and girl, you still mad. So at the end of the day, I still have what you want. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I really used to look at a lot of that stuff as a game. Like it was just entertaining and fun to me. Like, and I don't know, I know y'all probably like, Ayanna, that's so toxic. I wouldn't do it now, but back then it was like, oh, you telling me I'm done with him? You telling me that I'm gonna be done with him? Now I'm not done with him just because you told me that I'm gonna be done with him. Now I'm gonna just keep dealing with him because I want to. And you can't do nothing about it. And he still wanna be here, so it is what it is. So, y'all, we out, we have a, we talk, we talk, we vibe or whatever. And he's just like, okay, like, can we start trying to work on things again? I was like, yeah, but I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket with you. Like, you really got to prove yourself. And until you show me something, I'm not really going for it. Like, we cool, but whatever. So he was like, okay, that's fair, that's fair. So fast forward, y'all, we get through the rest of that month and everything is pretty much fine. Like, she's subbing me, I'm subbing her, but I didn't really care. Now, fast forward to New Year's. It's around New Year's. Y'all know my birthday is like 2-3 weeks later. So New Year's comes and he's like, I want to take you away. Like, we could go away. It was like this little town, city or whatever that maybe like 35-40 minutes from him. And he was like, there's this nice hotel I want to go to out there. He's like, I'm going to take you to the hotel. We could go to the movies. We could go out to eat. We could get up some bottles. And the room he got, y'all, I don't know. I'm going to see if I could post like a little snippet of whatever of the room without putting him in it. I'm not sure. I will see. But it was so nice. So I was like, okay, like, yeah, we could do that. So we make our plans. And now we are heading off to the town or whatever for New Year's. Y'all, as we're in the car on the way there, he's telling me like, oh yeah, Delila tried to, I don't know if she tried to get him to watch their son or something like that, because he told her like he had plans. And she was like, oh, what you mean you got plans? He was like, I have plans. She knew who he had plans with, but she tried everything, any holiday, any type of weekend, any type of event, anything. Delila was always trying to force something on him. And I don't want to say force their son, but it's like, if y'all already had plans of what y'all was doing with y'all son, why are you now reneging on that when you find out that he has plans with me? Now you're like, oh, well, what about this? Or what about that? Or I thought this. All the time. So of course it was no different for New Year's. She was doing the same thing. He pretty much was like ignoring her, I guess. So, we get to the hotel. We already went to the movies. We went out to eat. And we were just vibing. Like, I'll be honest, it was a good night. It wasn't no drama, nothing like that. We get to, back to the room. We get in the jacuzzi. And we're just vibing. I'm taking pictures. I'm taking little boomerangs. And I'm just having a good time, right? And I can tell, like, he was getting, like, overheated in the jacuzzi. Like, I don't know. It was like, because y'all, if you know, if you're drinking along with the jacuzzi, it just makes all of the effects crazier. And I feel like that's low-key how people be drowning in them jacuzzis, I'm gonna be honest. So he started feeling like sick, like he was really overheated. So I'm like, okay, get out, get out, get out. So he gets out or whatever. He lays on the bed and he was sick. So I'm like trying to make sure he's cool. His phone's steady ringing. And I'm like, damn, who calling you? He was like, I don't know. It's probably Delila. I was like, you gonna answer it? He was like, no. So I'm like, okay, I don't care. I would have been messy and answered it, but I'm like, for what? I don't really care. I'm enjoying my night, right? So as the night goes on, right, it's maybe like approaching, we pretty much made it to 12 for the New Year's. Happy New Year's, da da da. He decides to ask me like, oh, we've been, trying to get back on good terms. I feel like I've been doing good, the whole last month or whatever. So, do you want to actually try to be, in a relationship now? So I was just like, yeah, I guess, y'all, I was just like, yeah, cool, I guess. So now we're quote unquote in a relationship. Now he's my boyfriend. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now his phone, he went to sleep. His phone steady buzzing. Buzz, 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 buzz. But I was like, like I said, y'all, I'm not going through phones. I'm not checking nothing. And I'm going to be honest. Larry did text me and he was just like, oh yeah, Happy New Year's. What you up to? Da da da. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, I got back with, my ex or whatever. He goes, what would you tell me that for? Larry was crazy. He's like, what would you tell me that for? I was like, what you mean? I'm trying to be honest. He was like, you could have just dumped me. You could have just ignored me. I was like, yeah, but I also feel like, you deserve a response. You just flew me out to LA and like, I'm being honest with you. Like, I'm trying to work on things with him. He was like, you know what? That's cool. That's cool. What he saying? He was like, that's cool. I've been trying to fix things with this girl anyway. Da da da. Y'all, it ate me up. Y'all, I do not know why, but that pissed me off so bad when he said that he was working on something with another girl. I'm like, okay, like, cool. He was like, okay, so we cool then. We on the same page. I was like, yeah, okay, we on the same page. So that was that. That was that for Larry at the time, right? So me and Jordan, we enjoy the rest of our weekend, our little New Year's weekend, and we head back to his house, and then I get my stuff and I go back home. So everything is pretty much good, y'all. I honestly want to say going toward closer to my birthday, right? Y'all, this man loses his job, gets fired from his job. Now, I know y'all probably like, oh, girl, don't put his business out there, don't do. Listen, y'all, listen. Him getting fired from his job was 600,000 million% preventable. I'm not going to go into detail about what he did and what his job was. He did something that was just stupid. And like I said, preventable. He gets fired from his job. Right. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know, it happens. You know, people get fired, people quit. It happens every day. So I'm not really, you know, too stressed out about it. But I was like, damn, like, you get fired from your job right before my birthday. Like, ugh, it gave me the ick. And I know you're probably like, girl, you should have been got the ick. But I don't know. Something about my birthday. I was like, this feels like it's going to be not a good birthday. Like, I don't know. So he was like, damn, like, yeah, I got fired, da-da-da. He was like, that's crazy. You know, and mind y'all, he had just got a new car. The car he did not need. He did not need the car. He could have got him a decent car that was the same thing. But y'all know, oh, this is my dream car. This is my this is my that. Not trying to listen to me. So he gets this car, costing him an arm and a leg a month. So I'm like, damn, like, that's my birthday. Like, this supposed to be my man. I'm like, how you gonna pay your bills? You got rent. You got your car. You got kids. You got to feed yourself and them. You get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, like, what you gonna do? He was like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna get my payout from my 401k. So I'm like, oh, you sure you don't want to just hold on to that until you get another job and you could just like get it transferred over opposed to cashing it out? Because I was like, they're gonna hit you with like a crazy penalty for taking it all out. He was like, yeah, but it's worth it because I really ain't got it right now. Like, I need it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I ain't questioning it. It's not my money. So I was like, okay, cool. He was like, yeah, the lady told me, though, I'm going to have to wait like 3 or 4 weeks until I get it, though. So I'm like, okay, or whatever. So he's like, I don't want to say struggling, but, you know, he was trying to penny pinch here and there until he could get the funds, right? So everything was fine. Fast forward to like a week before my birthday, like probably like a little maybe like a week or so. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the timeline together in my head, y'all, because it's so much. But yeah, maybe like a few days or so before my birthday, the money hits. So he gets this money and he tells me how much it is. And it's around, you know, it's over 10. It's over 10K. Over 10, around 10, 15K, right? He gets that back from his 401. So I tell him as a suggestion, as a girlfriend, as someone that cares about you, I'm like, you honestly should put away some money into like a savings account for your kids. I said, and y'all know, y'all probably like, oh girl, how you gonna tell him what to do with his money? Because why not? Isn't that how you're in a relationship and you're trying to build with somebody? You should try to help them, you know, have financial literacy and things like that. And y'all, I used to be in banking. I used to work in banking a lot of years. So I learned a lot of stuff. So I'm like, you know, you should, you know, put some money away for your kids. And I was like, you know, that car is really expensive. I was like, you should probably put at least 3 months worth of payments away for that. Put like 2 to 3 payments away, monthly payments away for your rent. I was like, then you don't got to worry about either of those two. And then, you know, whatever you have left, you know, you could just kind of live off of, you know, slowly until you can get a job. Jordan was like, nah. Y'all, he was like, nah, he didn't do anything that I mentioned. So I was just like, can't say I didn't try. So I was like, okay, like, that's on you. And then he was like, yeah, you know what? I need a break. He was like, I need to take a trip. Like, I'm just so stressed out. Like, I need a vacation. Like, I haven't been able to go nowhere or do anything. And I'm just like, I was like, okay, like, I get it. But why not wait until you get another job and then tell your job, like, yeah, hey, new job, I have a trip planned that I already had planned. It's a family reunion. If you know, you know. Lie. I got a trip planned. I got a funeral. I don't know. Say something. And then take a few days, you know, before, you know, into the job. Get a little vacation time. It's a new job, obviously. So you're going to get vacation time. Take a few days and then take your trip. So that way you're sitting on the money that you got back from the 401. Plus you can get some checks under your belt with the new job. And then it'll be better for you to take a trip. Comment down below, y'all. Was I wrong? Is that not a good idea? He was like, no, I'm just stressed out. You know, I just need a break. I just need a trip. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, where you plan on going? He was like, oh, I was thinking about going to Arizona. I'm like, Arizona, mind y'all, if you know, you know, if you paid attention to any of my other story times, I told y'all back in the day, Arizona, one of my favorite places, and I told y'all I always wanted to move there for a good portion of time. So out of all the places that he could have went, why would you pick Arizona? I honestly felt that was like a dig at me in a weird way, because why pick there, right? So I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, well, I want to go. He was like, oh, yeah, you know, you could go. He was like, you know, the flights cost this much. The crib probably going to be this much. The car probably going to be this much. So I know y'all probably like, oh, girl, why would you expect da-da-da? Because why not? I've been helping you while you weren't working. I'm coming here to make sure you're good. I'm still cooking. I'm still making sure your mental is cool. And it was my birthday. Now, granted, y'all, he didn't not get me nothing. Like, we went shopping. He took me out to eat. But when I say shopping, I'm not trying to say I was ungrateful. He bought me some Uggs. He bought me a Pandora bracelet. And I think a Bath and Body Works set. Cool. But my thing is, when you're talking about planning a trip, right? Why not be like, oh, Ayanna, like, you know, I'm sitting on this bread or whatever, but I can't afford to have both of us go. You know, you're going to have to either pay for your flight or, you know, help me out with this or something. He did not offer any of that to me. Nothing. So at that time, I was just like, interesting, right? So he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Arizona. So he starts pricing everything out. That trip would have cost that man $3,500 for like 4 days, y'all. So I'm like, that's crazy. Like, you don't think that's a little crazy? And he was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna look into somewhere else. So then he ultimately decides to go to Houston. He was like, yeah, I got a friend down there. I got, you know, yeah, I think he said he got like 2-3 friends down there. So he's like, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna get me an Airbnb. So I'm like, okay, y'all, this man rented a Mercedes Benz unnecessarily. I do not know why men, and I say that in the last story, he flew me out story time. Why do men have to go on vacation and get these crazy rental cars? Like I said, I don't feel as though girls, I don't feel as though we do that. Like, as long as, like I said, I get me a little Maxima, I get me a little Toyota, I get me a little Jeep or something just to get me from point A to point B. Why do you need a Benz and you don't have a job? You're just wasting money for no reason. And I'm pretty sure he didn't put nothing away for his rent or his car. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, yeah, he was like, I'm getting a Benz. He was like, I got this like condo, Airbnb. And then I think the flight, y'all, I don't remember it, but it wasn't that much. So let's just say instead of him spending $3,500, he spent like maybe $1,700, $1,800 on this whole trip, right? So he was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go on this trip. And I was just like, he was like, oh, you want to go? And I was just like, no. Because the fact that, like I said, y'all, it wasn't even like he offered like, okay, you know, I got this, but, you know, we can make something happen. We could try to make it work. Like, you pay for this or you could pay for that. Nothing of the sort. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to beg you. It is what it is. So he was like, you know, you think you could take me to the airport? He was like, if you want, you could just stay in my crib while I'm going. You could take me to the airport. And then, you know, you could, did I pick him up from the airport? I think I did. I did pick him up from the airport, and then he drove us back. So he was like, you know, you can stay in my crib or whatever while I'm away, and, you know, so forth and so on. So I kind of had an attitude. We had, like, the day before he left, I met his mom. We went out to dinner with her. And his mom, like I said, she was cool, but, like, you could tell, like, she was advocating for her son regardless. She didn't have nice things to say about Delila because none of his family liked her. So I was just like, yeah, you know, okay, that was a little reassuring, but, you know, whatever. I still had a bug in my ass because I wasn't going on a trip. So fast forward, y'all. He leaves. He packs up his stuff. I take him to the airport. I take him to airport in Philly, right? So as I'm out there, y'all, literally that morning before I took him to the airport, Larry had hit me up. Now, me and Larry have not spoken, y'all, since Larry texted me and said, oh, I'm going to work on things with the other girl. And I was just like, okay, whatever, Larry. So, yeah, so that morning he hit me up and he was like, oh, what you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm about to take him to the airport. And he was like, to Philly? And I was like, yeah. He was like, come see me after. And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, nah, come see me after. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. So I drop him off at the airport. So I'm still parked there. I call my best friend. And called my best friend. And I think I had called Meg too at the time. And Meg was just like, girl, go. And she was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, but you know, I'm trying to work on things with Jordan. She was like, girl, bye. She was like, please. She was like, the fact that he completely just disregarded you, just took a trip randomly, don't got the money, didn't listen to you, didn't even offer for you to go to really help. She was like, go see Larry. She's like, and you know you want to, so just go. I know y'all probably like, Meg was a bad influence. And even after everything that they was beefing in LA when y'all went, I don't know, y'all. I think she disliked Jordan more than she disliked Larry at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to think about it, right? So I'm still parked at the airport. And so I called Larry and he's like, what's up? I'm like, you home? He was like, yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm about to pull up. So he was like, all right, cool. Y'all don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't get in these comments and start acting like y'all so holier than thou and like y'all never, please don't do that. So I pull up on him. It took me like 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes or so to get to his crib. So I pull up and y'all, we really did not do nothing. Like I pulled up, we smoked some trees and he was like, I want you to spend the night. I was like, oh, nah, I can't spend the night. But at this time, y'all, I was cool because, you know, Jordan was up in the air. So by the time he would have been calling me, trying to see what I was doing or where I was at, I would have been already back down the way to his house. Like, he left me his key and everything. So I was just like, okay, cool. So, y'all, I'm chilling with Larry. He's like, oh, so you back with him? Like, I was like, yeah, you know, we trying to work on things. He was like, what he going to the airport for? I was like, oh, he just wanted a trip, da-da-da. He was like, he wanted a trip. He ain't take you. He couldn't fly you out. I done flew you out twice in a matter of 2 months, and he about to go on a trip and not taking you nowhere. Like, he's like, that shows you. And y'all know, I got on him. I'm like, boy, please, you left me in the hospital and everything else. He was like, yeah, my bad. Like, I apologize about that. He was like, I don't know. I just felt like you was trying to play me and all this other stuff. I'm like, boy, whatever. So he was like, can we just let bygones be bygones? Like, let's just, you know, can we be friends? I'm like, you know, we'll see. So we finished smoking. I was like, all right, I gotta go. So he was like, okay, cool. So I leave. I get back in the car. Boom. I make my way back to Jordan's crib. And I know he probably watching this like, you cheating. Y'all, listen. It already happened. So we make our way. Like, I make my way back to his house. Now, I let myself in. And I pretty much was there the whole weekend. I was texting him, texting Jordan on FaceTime with Jordan while he's out there having fun. And I'm still texting Larry, you know, back and forth. So fast forward, you know, a few days or so goes by, and now it's time to pick Jordan up from the airport. So I drive back out there, pick him up, you know, he drives himself back, and, you know, we just vibing, we talking. He was like, you know, how was everything? You know, how was this? How was that? I was like, yeah, you know, it was cool. Now, I don't remember all the way, y'all, but I honestly want to say Delila had an attitude because he went on the trip. And I could agree with her in that aspect because it was like she said, you just lost your job and you got kids and stuff and you just took a random trip. And my attitude was the same way. But me, because I was working myself, I always had my own money. But my attitude is like, those not even my kids. And I'm like, you got kids. And I know you're probably like, just because he got kids don't mean he can't take a trip, but you don't have a job. And what made matters worse, y'all, was right, when he got back from the trip, we get back in the house or whatever. I think I stayed there that night, and then I ended up going home the next day. So we talking about the trip, how was everything? And then, you know, we get on the conversation of, okay, so when you going to start looking for a job? Because remember, y'all, he has not looked for a job. He still does not have a job, and now it's been a month. Now, his attitude is like, I'm just sitting on this money. Now, like I said, you got about $15,000 back. You just spent basically $2,000 already, right? And I'm pretty sure I think he paid his car note, and he paid the insurance, and he paid his rent for that month. So I'm like, okay. He was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go back to work. I'm going to just try to see what I can do. And y'all know, see what I can do. He was trying to hit tickets on FanDuel, y'all. He was trying to ride this little 401k money into the ground instead of getting a job and being able to really, you know, let it work for you instead of you working for it. He just wasn't doing that. I don't know, he was just lazy. Like, he just wasn't trying to work. And then if I had an idea, like he said, back in the day, I wanted to do YouTube. So I was like thinking about doing YouTube. I was looking into writing ebooks and stuff like that. Why everything that I worked on, he was trying to piggyback off of it, y'all. It was so irritating and annoying. And when I say gave me the ick, it gave me the full-blown ick, because I'm just like, why you don't just go get a job or learn how to do something? Go pick up a trade. You get what I'm saying? If you really don't want to go back to school, not school. If you really don't want to go back to work, go pick up a trade. Learn how to do something. Learn how to cut hair. Do something so you can make some money. You get what I'm saying? But no, he was trying to piggyback off of me or just trying to flip tickets on FanDuel. Was not working. Right? So I'm like, okay, cool. That's your prerogative, y'all. I go home. He was doing that pretty much back and forth for a few weeks. Fast forward, now we're around Valentine's Day. And I don't even know, y'all, how long I've been recording. But if it got to be a part 2 or whatever, then we'll just end it somewhere. But I'm going to give y'all a little bit more. So, yeah, now we fast forward to Valentine's Day, right? Valentine's Day weekend, Larry was hitting me up like, oh, what you doing? Oh, I want to see you. I was just trying to ignore him because obviously I was at Jordan's house. And now, before y'all ask, did Jordan and Larry know about each other? Obviously, Larry definitely knew about Jordan. Jordan knew about Larry, and he knew about Larry because... How did he find out about Larry? Oh, boom, 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 y'all. So after me and Larry got back from LA the second time, y'all know I didn't care. So when we had our little conversation, when we linked up a month later, and he was like, oh, can I take you out? Can we work on things? And I had told him the truth. He was like, oh, you went to LA with Larry? And I was like, yeah. He was like, I knew. He was like, you went to him with Meg too when you said you was with your brother. He started putting 2 and 2 together. At that time, I didn't really care no more because, you're not in no position to try to get me caught up because you already got caught up. You got caught first. But my bad. So yeah, you got caught up first. Whoever gets caught first loses. I don't make the rules. That's just what it is. So I was like, yeah, I did. He was like, oh, I knew. And I was like, how did you know? He was like, because he had a dog. And then that was the same dog that you were showing on your story when you went this past time. So you was with him the whole time. And you was talking about me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But you didn't catch me then. You got caught around your birthday. And now you trying to fake press me about him now after you just got caught a week ago with your baby mom. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't really care no more. So yes, they did sort of kind of know about each other. So I was trying to keep that communication with Larry really died down when I was around Jordan. When I was with Larry, he didn't really care because he was like, I don't care, I want you. And Larry, like I said, he looked at stuff as a game just like I did when it came to Delila. His attitude is like, you know, men, we find, and I'm saying we, I'm not a man, y'all, but I'm saying people in general, usually men find thrill in the chase, you know, and then when they get you, that's when they start acting up. But they find it exciting to steal you away or to, you know, have that little adrenaline rush, right? So I'm with Jordan. We in the crib or whatever for Valentine's Day. I think we had went out to eat. He had got me flowers, and I forget what else he had got me at the time. I really don't get me the line. I don't remember. But you know, we laid up. We watching movies and stuff. Now, y'all, we laid up. We on the couch, right? So he's laid up like this way, and you know, I'm in front of him. The TV's in front of us. So I'm trying to like be on my phone, but you know, obviously my phone is right there, so I know that he's behind me watching my phone. So like I would get a text or whatever, and I would like swipe it down real fast. But y'all, I had blocked Larry from my phone, but I was on a Google Voice number, so it came up as green. So I was on a Google Voice number talking to him, and I didn't have his number stored. So I would like scroll down, see that he sent something. I'd be like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Y'all, I would get up, go to the bathroom, and read the text. So he's sending me like paragraphs. He was like, oh, you're foul as hell. He was like, you really with this nigga on Valentine's Day? And I'm like, my man, like my boyfriend? He's like, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Like, I want you. He was like, you need to leave him. He was like, you need to leave him. I want to see you. And I'm like, no. He was like, Ayanna, I swear to God, like, if you're not going to be done with him, then I'm going to be done with you. So I'm like, okay, then you just gonna have to be done with me. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, but no, I'm not about to just up and leave. What are you talking about? So he was like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm literally, y'all, in the bathroom, like, typing, going back and forth with him. And I was like, all right, let me go back. So I put my phone back down, you know, whatever. And then I go lay up. And he was like, you cool? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So he was like, okay. Y'all, I did that literally like another 2 times. Like, I said, oh, my stomach hurt. And I just kept going back because I'm like, I knew he was blowing my phone up. And he was like, it's cool. It's cool. I'm about to go deal with... She'll have a name in another story time, but he was like, I'm about to go deal with such and such. I was like, okay, do what you got to do. He's like, so you could do you and you in a relationship. Do it then. Like, what you want me to do? Like, I'm I'm being as transparent as I possibly can be with you. So it is what it is. He's like, all right, bet. So I go back. I'm laid up with Jordan. And he was just like, you know, giving me the side eye, but he wouldn't say anything. And y'all, I honestly do think he knew that I was texting Larry. And later on, he confirmed that he knew that I was texting Larry, but he just never said anything. And I didn't understand why. And I know some of y'all probably like, well, maybe he didn't say nothing because he knew he probably was going to violate you too. And then when you got caught, when he got caught, he was like, well, you was texting Larry. But y'all didn't care. Like, if I was doing bold stuff like that at that point, that's how I knew I didn't care. And that's how I told him. That's why I told him, if you want me back, I'm going to violate you. I'm not going to be faithful and I'm going to do me. What man in their right mind would stay with a girl or want a girl back after she said something like that to them? But you were so cocky and arrogant that you thought like, oh, girl, you just saying that. Like, you going to be back with me and you going to be faithful and everything. No, I'm not. You already showed me that wasn't true. So that's not me either. I don't know. I don't care. Once I get my lick back, I get addicted to getting my lick back. And that's just what it is. And then on top of the fact that you weren't cheating, now you don't want to work. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, him getting the Valentine's Day stuff, getting me the stuff for my birthday, you know, buying little stuff here and there. It's like, you're draining that 401k because you have no income coming in. You don't got no unemployment. You don't have anything coming in and you're just draining it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So y'all, fast forward, like, I want to say, honestly, that was like around Valentine's Day. I go back home. Larry hits me up. He was like, I want to see you. So I'm like, all right, bet. Y'all, I took my ass to Philly. And I saw him and I was with him for like the day. I don't remember what I told Jordan I was doing or where I told him I was at. And we didn't do the locations. We did the locations prior to me finding out about Delila. After I found out about Delila, I was like, nah, locations is going off, boo. Like, no more locations for me. Sorry. So I went back to see Larry. So now I'm out there with him, and y'all, and I know y'all probably like, girl, but listen, y'all, I go out there to see Larry. He got me, I forgot what he bought me. He bought me way more stuff than Jordan did. We did way more stuff, and he got a good job, you know, so he was able to splurge. And one of the things I could honestly say about Larry, one of his love languages was gifts. Both of us were gifts. So he was always down to spend money on me. Was taking me to games, was buying me sneakers, perfumes, all types of stuff. So I loved it over there. I'm gonna be honest. At that time, I did. So I was just like, you know, we was having a good time, and I'm like, all right. So that was all around Valentine's Day, right? That was all around Valentine's Day. Fast forward, y'all, closer to the end of the month, right? Now we're approaching the end of the month. I'm at work, right? Me and Jordan had just got off the phone. We talking. He used to, when he wasn't working, he would drive all the way out here and like literally come out here and have lunch with me, and then he would drive back. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, I like that little dynamic or whatever. So this particular day, I'm at work. It's probably like around 3:30, 2 o'clock, and I'm going to be getting off work around like 4:30. I get a text, y'all. And the text was like, oh, and I wish I had it, but I don't even have that phone anymore. And I probably deleted all that stuff because I just didn't want to see it no more. But I get a text from Delila talking about, oh, you think you all of that. Basically, like, you think you all of that. I still be dealing with your favorite nigga. I still be dealing with your favorite nigga. In the back of my head, I'm like, my favorite nigga is Larry. So, you know Larry? But again, Delila was so caught up on Jordan that she wasn't even peeping that girl. I don't care about your baby dad. I'm about to leave your baby dad alone. If we being honest, if this man don't get a job soon, I'm going to be leaving him all the way alone. Y'all call it bougie. Y'all could call it bougie, shallow, selfish. Oh, everybody, you always be quick to leave a man when they down. Yes, I will unapologetically, don't care. Especially, and it's not even the fact, y'all, because I would have left him if as soon as he got fired. But it was the fact that you're draining that money and you don't want to look for a job. That is so unattractive to me. I don't care who it is. And if y'all don't agree with that, more power to you. But me, I was not going. So I'm at work. I get a text from Delila talking about some, yeah, I still deal with your favorite nigga. I still deal with your favorite nigga. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. She was like, you always want to act scary. You want to be a punk, da da da. Just trying to come crazy. And I'm like, girl, I'm the punk. Again, you never had this energy when we were sitting in his living room. Now all of a sudden you don't like me because he wanted to come back to me. But one thing I honestly could say, she couldn't say that she was still sleeping with him. She couldn't say that she was doing any of that because y'all know she would have been quick to throw that in my face, quick to throw some receipts in there, but she couldn't say that. So she was like, yeah, ask him about that. So I ignore her. I didn't say nothing back, right? I get home. I screenshotted it and I sent it to him. I call him. This man's on the phone crying, stuttering. And I'm like, what's she talking about? What's she talking about, Jordan? He was like, spit it out. What is she talking about, Jordan? He's like, well, I did, you know, I'm not working, so I had to borrow some money from her, but, you know, I'm going to pay it back once I go back to work. You're not even looking for a job. What do you mean go back to work? So I'm like, you got money from her again? And that's what I mean, y'all, when I say Delila was Delulu, because you just said, when you first told me he not buying son, he buy himself sneakers, he buying this, but he not doing for our son. He not doing this. He's not doing that. But then you give him more money. So you gave him the money, and then you hit me up just to tell me that you was dealing with him. So he was like, she's so spiteful. She's so this. Like, I told her that I was going to give it back. I don't know why she did that. I'm like, you're so stupid because you know that she hates me. So you know for a fact, as y'all probably know, she was literally waiting for the perfect opportunity to have something, to have the ammunition to throw it back in my face. You knew that already. But you were that desperate for the money. I'm like, why didn't you ask me? He was like, you wasn't going to give it to me. You damn right. I definitely wasn't. I'm like, how much did she give you? Why she get that man upwards of like $1,200, $1,300, y'all? And I'm saying, like, well, why she had to give you all of that already? How much money do you have left of that 401k? He was like, well, you know, it's dwindling down, you know, I got to figure out how, you know, I'm going to get the money for my car and you know, the rent. I got to cover up this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, and if y'all face look like mine, as y'all listening to this, what did I say when he first got that money, y'all? What did I say? To put away at least 4 months worth for each and look for a job, right? But even if you put the money aside, it doesn't matter if those months go by and you're still not trying to find a job and you don't have no income coming in. I didn't understand. So he was like, I was like, why you ain't ask your mom or your sisters? He was like, they wasn't going to give it to me. They wasn't going to give it to me. She was the only one that was going to give it to me. But I knew that I was going to pay her back. So for her hitting you up, she literally only did that to be spiteful. I said, Jordan, don't even worry about it. I said, don't even worry about it. And I hung up on him. Call me back, 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 call me back. Ignore, 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 ignore. And yeah, y'all. So after that, right? Like I said, he was blowing my phone up. I was just egging him. And then, Delila was like, oh yeah, I got her now. Delila up one. No, you're still dumb. You're still stupid. Because I honestly, to this day, y'all, I don't even know if that girl ever got that money back. Because where was he going to get the money from? He was not working. So I was like, you're still stupid. And I was like, how did you even get my number? And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So then I had hit up Jordan again. I'm like, how did she get my number? And he goes, y'all, back when, I forget what he was trying to do. He was trying to get a new phone, or he needed to do something. Not a new phone. I think he was trying to get he got that car. He needed like bills or, like statements that showed his address, showed whatever, utility or whatever to show before he got the car. He needed to, I don't know if he needed to finesse them or if he needed to get them printed out. I don't remember what he needed to do. I don't really remember. But I guess whatever he needed, he asked Delila first. Delila couldn't get the job done. So he then asked me. But I think when he sent her his phone statements, she went through it and got my number off of his phone statements. Stalker. Y'all see what I mean? Delulu. Who does that?
And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me?
And he confronted her, and she was like, so, why would you ask her to do it too? Why would you ask her to do it too? You're just mad because I got it done. I don't even remember what it was that he needed to have done. I don't know if I needed to finesse the address because the address didn't fit or whatever, and they told him the address had to match his statements. So I changed the address on there. She didn't know how to do it. So he sent it to her first, though, and she got my number from there and just sat on it. Just sat on it all of that time and then used it for the right opportunity, I guess, to hit me up. Which was so weird because when she hit me up before to say, oh yeah, Jordan be lying, call my phone. You gave me your number knowing that you already had my number. So why did you hit me up on Instagram when y'all get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So I was just like, okay, bet. So he was like, I don't really know how she got your number. I'm like, your baby mom is crazy and so are you. And like I said, y'all are made for each other. I'm cool. Don't even worry about it. So like I said, y'all, he's hit me up. And then fast forward, like maybe 2 weeks or so later, he's still not working. He hits me up. Let's say it was I think it was like Thursday, like a Wednesday or Thursday. There's not really a lot of Apple stores out here. I mean, like out where he lived. So he would always have to come all the way out here, or he had to go all the way to the town I told you we went to for New Year's pretty much to get to an Apple store. So he was like, oh yeah, I'm trying to buy a new computer because I'm going to start trying to, work on a computer so I can make some money. And he was like, I need to buy, I think he bought new AirPods, a new laptop. He went to Nike and got some stuff. So yeah, so he was like, oh yeah, I'm coming out there. Now mind y'all, this Thursday night, he was like, oh, I got to come up there to go to some clothing store. Do you want to meet me for lunch? I said, no, stop texting my phone. Next day, Wednesday, he was like, well, I still got some of your stuff, at my crib. Do you want me to bring it to you? I'm like, what do I have over there? Y'all, I wish I still had this picture, and I might still have it. I'm going to see if I can find it. It was a black tank top, a pair of black leggings, and like some socks. I was like, no, throw it away. Keep it. I don't know. You think I need to see you to get a black tank top and some leggings? Be for real, Jordan. He was looking for any reason to see me, y'all. So I was just like, no, I don't need it. You can throw it away. He was like, okay. Like, he was like, well, I'm still going to bring it down to you because, I just feel like it's your stuff. So I'm like, okay. Y'all, he drives all the way down here. Mind you, he was just out here Wednesday. Next day, Thursday night, he drives all the way back out here, 40 minutes. Y'all, it takes 40 minutes on average to get to here and 40 minutes to get back. So he comes out here and he was like, oh, I'm downstairs. Can you come downstairs? I was like, no. I was like, if you want, I can send my dad downstairs. He was like, what? I was like, you want me to send my stuff? I could send my dad downstairs to get it. He was like, no, I'll just put it on top of your car. So he put it on top of my car. He left. Okay, my dad went, got my stuff, brought it upstairs. So I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all, the next day, he's like, oh, well, I really want to try to take you to dinner. Like, you honestly think, like, can we please talk? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to give her the money back. You're missing the point. You're just, like I said, I was already getting the ick. I'm kind of like over you at this point. Like, I'm kind of over you. I really don't care no more. Like, it is what it is. So he was like, please, Ayanna, please. I was like, no. Then y'all. y'all gonna have to wait until part 2 or whenever I do the next story time for this, because I do not know how long I've been recording. I feel like I gave y'all a lot of tea today. So yeah, y'all, we gonna end it right there. I know y'all hate the cliffhangers, but like I said, go back and get refreshed on the other one. Watch this one. Comment down below. I know I gave y'all a lot, so just tell me what y'all think. And I know y'all probably gonna rip me up like, girl, you was wrong for dealing back and forth with them. If you was gonna be done with Jordan, you should have just left him alone. Like I said, it happened already, y'all. And I don't care. Like I said, I'm not a cheater. I'm a cheater backer. Always have been. And it is what it is. Don't play me and you won't get played. And that's just what it is. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, repost, reshare. We are on the road to 2K. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.
Hi.